trademark.
It's exploring a little bit more of the kind of midnight madness of horror movies.
Look toward camera.
You know, you hit these punctuation marks of dread, which is so important, and intensity.
We build upon John Carpenter's 1978 film, honor that as a part of the past, and then we try to put a spin on it.
This one gives us a little chance to let the fear permeate into Haddonfield and the paranoia.
If Halloween Kills was about fear turning people into monsters, this movie goes back to evil's infectious. And a lot of creeping about and atmosphere and classical slasher aesthetic language.
All that matters is what's on the screen.
You ready in case the boogeyman decides to come out and play?
Michael, in this chapter, the events of Halloween Kills really fucked him up.
So this is the end of Halloween Kills. We have the fire, and then we have the other blood, knife slashes.
This woman is so on top of shit.
The hardest part of working on a horror film is continuity.
Say they wanted to do a flashback to scene 100 part 2, we can say, oh, this is the coverall. Special effects rig left a hole that was this big. Then the next time we see those bullet holes, they look more in the realm of our post-bullet hole. What we're thinking about is what's happened to this person, where they've been, what they've been through, and what has happened to the clothes.
He's gone away to rot, you know, kind of like an animal will just walk into the woods and die.
He's gonna be very dirty and moldy. This will all be all the mud from the cave. They have blood all over, and they've gotten dirtier.
It's such a present experience, you know? Because every time you change the costume changes me.
When it comes to the mask, I certainly didn't want to just redo 2018 or Kills. Michael Myers in this movie has a completely different vibe. It was hard on this one because you could easily go too far and have this wreck of a mask and wreck of a character that just blend into the background. You have to maintain a silhouette that fans recognize. So the idea for me was to kind of strip it down to the bare latex. That's what this side of the mask is, the natural progression of exactly where he should be at this moment in this story.
When I read the script, the cave, in my mind, was much smaller than what we have on that stage right now.
The cave set is the first thing that I started working on with my set designer. It's certainly a very different kind of set than we've done on any of the Halloween movies, so it was fun and refreshing to get to jump into that. We're trying to have this claustrophobic environment, which in reality is difficult to shoot in. We need space to light and to do the stunts.
You're trying to justify light in an environment that wouldn't have light. So is it a crack in the concrete from above or a sewer grate? But then it also keeps that mystery of what's in the shadows.
I just would like to start with the wall so we can see our rodent friends scampering around.
2 days ago, David was like, I'd love to get some rats in there. Once you're on that stage and you just see a little rat run across the tunnel, you're like, oh, this is legit.
This is beautiful. This is incredible.
A little rat goes a long way.
Hopefully it looks filthy and looks scary and dangerous.
This boogeyman been sitting in hibernation, but trust me, y'all, he'll be back.
We always knew there was going to be a radio station. We designed the tower for the radio station in Halloween Kills, which you get to see in a few scenes. And so finally, in Ends, we got to build the actual radio station. WURG is this giant pop of color in the middle of a depressed and a dying town. I think all the color is a fun relief from some of the other darker places in Haddonfield.
There's so many strange detours and genres and shooting styles in each of these sequences. That's what I always try to keep it flexible.
Do we need a headlight gag or something, or could we just use the tilt drum?
I don't think anybody would come into Halloween Ends caring as much as me as a shooter. I didn't think anybody would really do it justice. Let's throw that dolly. Is everyone on that one? Close up here. Why?
I know that he's going to bring something to the table, and he has a different way of looking at everything.
This film is a bit more angsty and kind of a bit more indie. Trying to find more suspense. We start most of our prep mornings with a screening.
A lot of John Carpenter movies, so Christine became a big influence. Little shout-outs to The Fog and They Live, and to be able to try to take some of those textures and infuse them into the world of Halloween.
I think the most relevant one was watching 2018 Halloween. The camera's just telling the story it needs to tell and not trendy, but purposeful.
So here he goes. We cross here and we see the hole there.
When all these 3 films are completed, they will have some cohesive style.
This is the 3rd film we've worked on together. It's really great just having that camaraderie.
This team has to figure out how to put what's on the page in front of your eyes.
I like the challenge.
I wanted to leave my blood on the floor for these projects.
Just putting together images that we hope to be iconic within this franchise.